Hi friends. If you click to check out, I wasn't going to do this video, but here we are, my recommendations for the upcoming Sephora spring sale, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name is Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauté. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeup, so head over to my Instagram. Before we begin, timestamps will be down below with all items and the time code next to them if you wish to just skip over to those items. I wanted to start by saying I hope everyone is well, and I want everyone to know that this video is not to force you to buy anything from Sephora, and I also hope that this does not make you feel less than, does not stress you out more. If you really feel this is going to trigger you, then I would just suggest that you click out and visit another video of mine. The reason why I decided to do this because I feel despite what's happening with Sephora and their, excuse me son, despite what's happening with Sephora and the laying off, and the whole situation is awful, Sephora is not the only business that's laying off their employees. However, I understand how it was done was not the best. It was really cut and dry and just devastating. I checked out thefrankiesaid's video about her experience. She got laid off. She was a part-time worker. She did have a full-time job already, so it might not have been as financially devastating to her as it was for someone who that was the only job they had. But she explained that a lot of these cancel Sephora is trash videos were saying about how they didn't have a say in the conference call was not true at all. I guess depending on the regional manager that conducted your call in whatever region you worked in, you were allowed to ask questions, you were allowed to express your concerns, and she even said, listen, I don't want you to boycott Sephora because I want you to come back and shop and I want a job to come back to. So there are two sides to every story, and I think you have to be smart in what you decide to do. A lot of you had asked that I share my recommendations, and I just want to keep this as very lighthearted as possible. If you want to use my shop codes, great, and I thank you for it. Yes, I do receive a commission when you click those links with an asterisk on it. If you decide not to support Sephora because of what happened, or you just think their reward program is trash like I do, then I get it. But there are some items that I can't find at Ulta. But I do find that if you are quick enough, that you can get great sales on the actual brand site, right? Makeup Forever had 30% off site-wide. Marc Jacobs also had up to 60% off certain items. Saks, Bergdorf, Neiman Marcus, and Nordy's have been having sales up the wahoo. So it all depends on how you want to go, right? I decided to do this video because I love recommended products to you guys, and I just wanted to condense it a little bit and highlight the products that I've been really loving as of late. So hopefully that cleared things up and we can go forward with this recommendations video. Okay. And with that said, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. We got lots of friends here visiting us today. I actually wanted to conduct this like a get ready with me and just talk about the products as I apply them so you can kind of see them in action as well. I've been bad. I've been really bad, and I'm mad at myself because I've been doing so well. I actually am not going to recommend any skincare from Sephora because I've been buying my skincare elsewhere. For instance, I've been using the Good Molecules silicone-free priming moisturizer, which is sold on Beautylish. I also have the Nivea Sun Super Water Gel. You can get this from Amazon, but if you're not about Amazon right now, I believe you can get this on Yes Style, and I will make sure to put that link down below. I haven't been swayed by a lot of skincare from Sephora as of late. I've been streamlining my routine, and I find that I don't need everything, and I don't need to spend money on that serum and whatever expensive lotion you got. I'm good. With that said, I want to start with one of my standout products that I always recommend. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. The label's wearing off. I wear the shade 5 Tan, and you could also mix this with your liquid foundation. You could put it on first like I'm doing. This just gives the skin a beautiful, luminous, radiant glow without it looking greasy, and it really amps up that filter aspect of whatever foundation you decide to apply, because I found that I've been about the blurring, less about the covering. So if you have any blemishes or discoloration, I find it helpful to use a product that's just going to help kind of diffuse those imperfections and the skin still look like skin and not heavily covered with makeup. Definitely have to recommend one of my most standout complexion products that I have tried. And I was slow to the game, friends. And definitely for this sale, if you're going to take advantage of 20%, take advantage of the items that are expensive to begin with, and that is no other than the Tom Ford Traceless foundation stick. I did try the shade in Illuminate liquid foundation, but that has lavender oil in it, and as beautiful as it is, it's just so expensive, and for me to not use it as often like I have been with the sticks, I feel not worth my purchase. These sticks retail for $88. If you could knock off 20% off, that is helpful. I had the shades 7 Tawny and 6.5 Sable. Both work really well on me. If you want to see, this is what Sable looks like. It's, I think, a little more neutral in tone. Just adjusted that exposure. And this is Tawny, which is a little more like pink and like actually my skin complexion. Is very small, the whatchamacallit, the shade jump. But what I've been doing is applying Sable on the center part of my face. This stick foundation is so lightweight, but it has the most beautiful skin-like finish. It's just so easy to blend, easy to apply, no fragrance, which is like unheard of for a luxury complexion product. And it's buildable. You can start off with one layer. If you want more, you could build from there, and it's not going to look heavy on the skin. Another recommendation I have to share is the Hourglass concealer, the Airbrush Vanish Concealer. I have 4 shades. If you want to check out my concealer video, I can link it up above and down below, where I demo all my favorite concealers. I like to use Dune all over my face, and because Sable is a little light, I use Dune just to add a little more yellow to it, but also the coverage of the Hourglass is insane. A little goes a long way. Like, you don't need a lot at all. This is my Chikuhodo GSN 2 brush, and I just punch that on, and with the Sable foundation stick, it gives me the perfect amount of coverage. It doesn't look heavy. It gives me that coverage that I need for my blemishes, and it just gets the job done so fast. And with all the concealers that I have, I figure, you know, I just combine all the shades, and I feel it just covers quickly. It still looks lightweight on the skin, and it also feels very lightweight on the skin. I have other shades in the Hourglass. I use Dune for all over my face. I use Sienna for under eye correcting and highlighting. I use Flax for like a light contour situation. And then I use Topaz, if I could find the Topaz. Where's the Topaz? For more intense correcting, because this is more apricot in tone. So I use these interchangeably. I think they're all great shades. If you wanted something for all over your face, I would suggest Dune. If you wanted something for under the eyes and you're my complexion or lighter, Sienna. If you're my complexion or deeper, maybe Topaz. Topaz does like... Here, you want to see? There's so many concealers to demo, but I will just do as many as I can, because my other favorite, which I will show you now, is Dior. The Dior Forever Skin Correct is a phenomenal concealer, and I definitely recommend you check it out during this sale because it's so fluid and lightweight in texture. I have 4 shades in this as well. 2W for like my highlight, 3N for all over, although the 3N I think is a little too light, so I mix it with the 4N, and then I have the 5N for my contour. So these are my 4 shades. I will put them all below. This sun is killing me. I am so sorry, friends, but I feel the coverage is good. If I feel like I have to go over any spots of my face that need a little more blending, then I'll make that happen. Just so you can see some of the Dior in action, I take my 2W shade as a highlight shade, and I just dot it where those highlighter points are. And also, this allows a little more coverage if you want. So much noise. I'm taking my Tom Ford cream foundation brush and just patting that down, and you see that adds a little more light to the cheekbones. I definitely suggest the Dior for a wider skin type spectrum than, let's say, the Hourglass, because the Hourglass, although dries down soft matte, it definitely dries down more soft matte than Dior. Dior, I feel, is great for normal to dry or normal to even oily. Maybe oily, you will definitely have to powder it, but I think you would get more lasting power from the Hourglass. And also, Another recommendation of mine, Mama Pat's concealer. This concealer is phenomenal. Hit it out of the park. People were either really happy or not so happy or just like indifferent with her foundation. But with the concealer, it's a good one. And know that it has alcohol in it, but it's way down on the list. I go more in depth about the ingredients on the actual concealer video if you want to see that in action. I have LM13, M16 is like my all over shade that I could use for spot treating. So let's say I wanted a little more coverage here. Those portions I use the M16 on, and I could just use my finger to work that. A little goes a long way with the pat, and dare I say, the consistency and the dry down definitely reminds me of the Hourglass a lot. I think it all comes down to what your best match will be between the two. And I could just attack these dots here. So freaking many blemishes, so much sun. It's so easy to blend with the fingers. Definitely a lot more high coverage than her foundation. But I find all my complexion products have been working so beautifully together that I just use them all interchangeably. It's hard to pick out a standout favorite because I love them all for different reasons, and they all work, again, beautifully together. Put a little there. That's better. We didn't do under the eyes, so I could show you what the Dior looks like, what the pat looks like. Let's do a little bit of both. For under the eyes, I like to go in with the Dior 3N. I think it's an ideal shade for under the eyes. It's not too bright, and it's like my skin color. It doesn't look crazy in your face, but if I want a little bit more brightness under the eyes, like right under the eyes, then I'll go in either with the Hourglass Sienna shade, which I'm trying to find here. It's like so much concealer. I'll go in with the Hourglass Sienna or the Pat LM13, and with that I just right under the most inner part of the lash line. I'm just gonna pat that down and then combine the two, and you could even just use your fingers as well. I have Pat's little concealer brush, which I particularly love for right under the eye, and if I wanted to switch, I could go to her medium-sized brush and just continue blending out the rest of the concealer. Now, this is a lot of makeup, right? I think it's all about layering, and this is really to showcase as many concealers as I can, you know, because I know it's a lot, and it's like, Alicia, which one? It's hard to pick out my favorite, friends. Again, I love them all. And depending on your budget, depending on which one you think is going to shade match you the best, will determine which one you will decide to purchase in the end. I have been loving my complexion routine. I look forward to it every day. I've been loving these products, how they synergistically work together to just give me my best skin ever. Contour. So you saw the contour options I have from the Dior, a very light contour option from the Hourglass, and also from Pat, I use her MD22. But if I were to recommend an item that I think is worth getting the 20% off from, it definitely has to be Tom Ford's Shade and Illuminate palettes. These suckers are expensive, okay? They come with a cream contour and cream highlight. This is in Intensity 2. I also have Intensity 1. I know, too much. I like both shades. The Intensity 2 has a little more red in it. So this is 1. And this is 2. You want to quickly see a swatch. So that's 1 and that's 2. They both blend beautifully into the skin, but 2 has a little more red in it. I do prefer 1 over 2. I love both though. But if you're around my skin tone, and I'll put all the shades down below with everything that I've used, I would go for 1, but you can definitely blend out 2 very successfully. In fact, let's just do one side, 1 and the other. I'm just gonna do that. I'm taking my Wayne Goss 01 brush from the original collection, and I'll first start off with 01. I'm gonna pat that down, and I like to just I'm gonna use some of that actually, why not? And I just press that into the hollows of my cheeks and it just blends itself. It's a remarkable product. It's expensive with just 2 creams, I understand, but I feel the effortlessness of the formula tied with the tone of it. It's just a perfect harmonious pairing. It's so foolproof, one of the most foolproof contour cream formula products I have ever used. They have a lighter shade 0.5 and a deeper shade in intensity 3. So, and that one looked really, really deep. When I saw it in store in person, I was like, yes. So that is 01. Let me wipe the brush. And let's go in with 02. I'm gonna pat that down. So you see it's a little more red tone. It's gonna give not a harsher contour, just definitely little stronger in hue. And I always like to work the product on something first. Oh, was that the wrong one? No, I don't even know. So that I don't overload my brush and I could just build from where I am. So this is softer. This is more like of a yellow undertone, and the 02 is offering up a little more oomph, right? So it's going to give you a little more, and it's slightly more red. On me, it might be a different undertone if applied on you depending on your undertone. I love it. This freaking palette. Now my one critique will be that the highlighter creams are the same. So if you get 2 like me, you're gonna get the same highlighter cream, but this freaking highlighter cream, friends, it's phenomenal. What's going on with that brow hair? I will put some on, and it is the perfect setup for any highlighter that you have. I love applying this first. You could also apply it and leave it as is if you're into cream products and just having that dewy finish on the skin. But these products, although creams, they're so lightweight in texture. They don't feel heavy or greasy on the skin. You don't look shiny. Your skin just looks radiant and flawless and filtered. All the good words. It's so nice. I love these products so much. So highly recommend, if you're able to get your shade in whatever you choose to get, consider it. That's all I'll say. Powder, no other than Pat's pressed powder. Yes, the packaging is disappointing. It doesn't feel luxe. This mirror, sad. Why did she even bother? But the actual powder is amazing. This is in light. I have all 3 because I use light under the eyes, medium all over, deep to kind of give me a light contour if I'm not using the Tom Ford or I'm just not using anything. Taking my Sonergy Designer Pro. Pressing the light powder under the eyes. The immediate blurred and filtered effect this powder delivers blows my mind every time. And I've been using this for like 2 months. I think this released back in February. I don't quite remember. Shame on me. I place the light powder on the lighter portions of my complexion, and then I will go in with highlighter. And this is not a new item, but I came back to it, and I think this is actually still sold on Sephora. It is the Digital Dust Highlight Powders from Melt Cosmetics. Oh my goodness, I have Stargazer and Gold Ore. Either or on the Tom Ford Illuminate cream. Let me take my Sonia G Fan Pro and just show you. It could be this particular gel type of formula just effortlessly layers over the Tom Ford. It is beautiful. I have been digging this combination, and I just love how these 2 products layer. Again, that Tom Ford Illuminate cream, balm, whatever you want to call it, under the melt, insane. And it doesn't look heavy at all. It just looks glass-like in finish. It is gorgeous. Okay, enough, shut up. The bronzer. Again, I was late to this item. This is the bougiest bronzer ever. But my friends, if you could get 20% off this expensive bronzer, Gold Dust in the Ultimate Mega. I keep calling it different things. It has a name to it. I think it's called like the Ultimate Bronzer. They have only 2 shades, Terra and Gold Dust. I don't know what Terra looks like, but I think Gold Dust is the preferred one if you're around my skin tone. Let's go in with the, I mean, so many brushes. I'm gonna go in my Chikuhodo Z1 and just tap it on. It's so lightweight and just melts into the skin. This is a remarkable formula. And granted, we did not set the Tom Ford shade cream, okay? This is basically setting it for us. And the way it just melts into that cream formula is astonishing. There is some gold fleck to it, right? So you will have that bit of radiance to the finish, but it's such a soft powder. And basically the little gold flecks, the little gold shimmies in here, they just buff into the skin and leave behind a beautiful luminous glow. So I don't mind if you rather have a matte, what did I do there? I totally messed that up. If you rather have a matte bronzer, then definitely don't get the Tom Ford. I think the Terra is a matte finish. However, you don't like that color, then maybe just get another bronzer altogether. I definitely went overboard, but we're not going to talk about that. It is not the bronzer's fault. I just like putting this bronzer on like to no end. So what happens if we went overboard? Well, I will take one of Pat's powders, which again I just recommended, but I will take the medium one, and this is, ooh, I gotta be careful with this one. I'll use my Chikuhodo Z9 to whip the medium powder around. I was silly trying to use that small mirror to see what I was doing, and especially this side. This powder, we've applied a lot of stuff on our face, okay fam? But the fact that my skin still looks like itself and it just looks so radiant and blurred, I've been loving this combination. Now, blush. People were mad at Charlotte. I understand because, you know, coming out with deeper skin tones after the fact is upsetting and it is disappointing. But a lot of you had said that you really, really like her Pillow Talk Intense, her cheek to cheek. I actually highly recommend this blush. It is such a beautiful shade. Take a little bit of the Pillow Talk Intense with my Chikuhodo F04. Because it's a deeper shade on me, I'll place it higher on the cheekbones, like right between the bronzer and the highlights, and just punch it in. It's such a beautiful shade. It has a lot of color to it, so I would apply lightly if you're my skin tone, but if you are deeper, I think it will look lovely on you, and it just gives a beautiful flush. So those are all my complexion recommendations, fam, for the upcoming sale. I hope that this was helpful in you just seeing the products in action. I've been using these particular products nonstop ever since I received them from different retailers, and the fact that Sephora has them, I don't know what will be in stock or not by the time the sale jumps off, and not to say you have to buy everything, but those have been my standout items for complexion, and hopefully again the demo kind of helped with your decision in terms of what items to get. With that said, let's slap on some brows, prep the eyes, and we'll be back for the eye demo. Brows are on. Good old Goof Proof by Benefit in 3.5. Recommendation right there. I've been using it for years, but unfortunately can't get the MAC Paint Pot and Soft Ochre from Sephora, but I'm sure they have plenty of eye primers for you to choose from. First recommendation has to be the Melt Rust Palette. Let me pan you out. I'm so close. I filmed a review video using this for 4 looks, and then I set it up against Biba, so that was another like 3 looks. And the other palette I recommend for the sale is the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes palette. I also have a video on this, 4 looks using this palette, and then I did another video putting these guys head to head, so it could kind of help you decide which palette will be best for you. They both are phenomenal. I think the Rust palette is like edgier for neutrals, and Artist Couture is like more everyday for neutrals, but I thought, why not, let's just use them both in the video. Girl, my Sonergy Blender Pro with Erode. Gonna get that into the crease. And why don't we go on this side with Eccentric? Sonergy Crease Pro with Rust. Tap that on the outer part of this lid. Sonergy Jumbo Blender with Aesthetic from Supreme Nudes. Punch that on. Rust with my Crease Pro under this eye on the melt side. I'm actually going to put some on the inner part of the lid. And then place Aesthetic from Supreme Nudes on this inner part of the lid. and then pull that aesthetic shade under the lash line again with my jumbo blender. Redox with my finger on the melt side. I'm gonna punch that right on the center between the brackets of mattes. Taking a little bit of the tarnish shade right on top of redox near the lash line so it could create like a gradient of like gold to pinky bronze on the lid. I'm taking a little bit of the rust matte and tapping around the edges of that metallic application. Just feather the edges. So, excuse me, are you focusing on me? So pretty. It's so pretty. Same thing with Bronziana with my Sonia G soft shader on the lid. Again on the center between those two matte brackets. And I can also use my finger to gently tap. Lavish shade from the Supreme News. And same thing, tapping that closer to the lash line. So it could create that similar gradient effect. Opulence. Sonia G smudge it too in a lower third. And I'll do tarnish from the Melt palette on this side, same smudger 2 brush. Using the classic matte shade as our inner corner highlight. I know not traditional, usually you'll use a metallic, but I wanted to do, this is Exposed from Supreme News, something a little different. Another recommendation I wanted to share was the Fenty Beauty Fly Liner, I believe it's called. Flypencil Longwear Pencil Eyeliner. In the shade, what is this? Find it, Space Cookie. I actually really like these a lot. It is a screw up. It's like a mechanism where you screw it up, but you can't screw it down. This is one of their metallic finishes, and I thought it really pretty, especially paired with these palettes. So that gold shimmer in the pencil, I feel, is just a nice pairing with these shadows. Really smooth. I'm doing a terrible job because ideally, I'll hold one end of my eye more steady. Taking my smudger brush, because it is undyed goat hair, I could use creams with these fibers. I'm just carefully smudging the pencil so it could look a little more diffused and not as sharp. All right, let's slap on some mascara and I'll be right back. Mascara is on the Lash Paradise, as I've been using constantly. It's not sold at Sephora, but I'm sure there are other favorites from other recommendation videos that you can refer to figure out what your mascara purchase can be. But for lipstick though, friends, I definitely have to recommend, again, like I did I think a few months ago, the Natasha Denona I Need A Nude lipsticks. I actually have to grab another one. Sammy, actually, I love Sammy too, but Noah is like my favorite out of the 3 that I have. It's running low, so I'm going to pick up another one of those. But my most standout favorite, and it was just so unexpected, was the Gucci, the satin finish lipstick in Penny Beige. I have been using this non-stop, and this was one of the most perfect beige tones for my skin shade. It was like unbelievable. For liner recommendations, the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude, the Pat McGrath Permagel Ultra Lip Liner in Contour. All are smooth, long lasting, and I really love the tones that they provide. Also the Patrick Ta. I really like these liners when I first used them. I like the click mechanism on these. So you basically click it up, but I like the shape. It's a triangular shape. It's much like my Goof Proof pencil, and I think that just covers more surface area at once. I have the shade, I have 2 shades actually. This is in She's Strong and She's Bold, I believe, the more darker brown. And with She's Strong all over the lip, I just love how fast you could apply this liner. You could actually cover your whole lip with it if you want. It's smooth, but it's not too dry and it's not too slippery. I think it's like an ideal texture for lip liner. And of course, going in with the Gucci Penny Beige. It's like unbelievable. This nude is so good. It is so good. So that is how the Patrick Ta and Gucci look together. And just for it to be the most perfect pairing, gotta put some For Real on. I mean, we got to. So beigey and shiny. And forgive me, I wanted to give you a close-up on the skin. We have a lot of stuff on, friends, and I feel like everything just melts together. Don't mind this. I'm not gonna touch it. It's a new pimple. We're going to ignore her. But everything just layers so beautifully together. And despite my blemishes, I think the skin looks pretty smooth still. And here are the eyes up close. I love both palettes. I think they have so much to offer. and definitely up to you to decide which one will be best for your aesthetic. And here's a finished look with all the products on that I recommended in this video. I've had a blast with these products, and I've been really selective with what I've been purchasing, and also watching other recommendation videos and review videos just to kind of get an idea of buying the products that are going to best align with my makeup technique and makeup style. My complexion routine it's just been popping off, and I had to recommend these products to you friends, especially because they are more expensive. And if we wait during the year for these sales and we want to stock up and buy an item that we've had our eye on for quite some time, and then we have the opportunity to save on said item, I think that can't be missed, right? And hopefully doing one eye with the Artist Couture and doing the other eye with the Melt Rust kind of gives you a better idea of which palette color story will best suit you. I think Artist Couture is just, you can't go wrong with that palette. It's just so easy to use, foolproof. You have all the tones here for both matte and metallic finishes. Melt has a little more punch to it. There's just the tones in here I feel are a little more edgy, and you definitely get a little more color impact from this palette. I just don't like how it's sized. That's probably my one critique about the Rust palette. I just think this is a lot more travel friendly and you could just get around with it. I know we're not going anywhere, but hypothetically. But I love both. I love both, and you can definitely get, although similar tones, I feel they're different despite how we use like the similar shades from each palette. The lipsticks, Penny Beige, I think I want to try, I think it's Carol Beige, like two other Gucci shades that I just really love. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna blend this out really quickly. I think there's like Carol Beige and another beige I want to try. I'm just so impressed by the Gucci lipsticks texture, the performance, the feel on the lips, and just their shade range is immense. And they have the matte finish, they have like a glitter finish, they have the balm. I have the balm. I love Mildred Rose or Mildred Rosewood. I just love this bullet. It's so beautiful. And the satin bullet too, it's just, it gives me like some art deco feels that I just love, so don't mind me. And Mildred Rosewood is like a sheer color that looks like a beautiful rose tone balm on the lip if you want to have like a very light makeup day. And of course Penny Beige, I'll just show you quickly. It's just, oh, the most beautiful beige. It's so lovely. And so that's why I think maybe I want something cooler. This is supposed to be like the taupier of the beiges, but I think I want to go in maybe with Carol. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm sure you guys want to know, Alicia, what are you picking up? The most standout item that I'm definitely picking up is the Fenty cream bronzers and the cream blushes. All the photographs with the cream blushes look phenomenal. And I know that's crazy. You cannot buy all shades, but friends, those promo pics are doing me in really bad. I definitely want to pick up the purple. I think that's such a unique tone and it just looks beautiful on all the models. And then I think the orange one and the strawberry daiquiri or something like that. Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. I'm looking at my basket here quickly. Let's see, definitely got, okay, I got the Gucci and Penny Beige. I want to grab another Penny Beige. I want to try the Painted Veil. I want to try the Painted Veil in the satin finish. Susan Nude. I think I want to try Susan Nude. I want to get another Noah from the Natasha Denona. NARS. I want to get Arouse and Orgasm X. I heard amazing things about Orgasm X, like much better than the original Orgasm. Well, okay. I am thinking about getting the Charlotte Tilbury Queen of Glow Luxury Eyeshadow Palette. That I think that received an A from Temptalia from Christine. And I know those are shades I have, but oh my goodness me, I'm thinking about it. It's in the basket, but I could always take it out. The Natasha Denona Mini Bloom Blush. I'm not going to get the Mini Retro because I think I have some of those shades. I have a lot of her palettes, and I think there are only 2 shades in there. Like that beautiful matte green that's still calling to me in some way. You know, it's crazy just to get a palette just for one shade, but I've done worse. Viseart Shoo palette for sure, and of course the Fenty products. So those are the items that I'm looking at right now. It's gonna be a pretty penny. We'll see. I'm trying to be reasonable and just love the products that I have in my collection right now. As you know, you didn't see any major complexion products in there because I'm just good in the complexion department right now. Between all the concealers I have and the foundation that I have not yet finished, like, I'm pretty good on that. And the bronzers and the blushes, I know I'm looking at the Natasha Mini Glow, but we'll see. I might change my mind about that. But the Orgasm X, I think, is a must. I've been hearing everyone just rave about that blush, and I'm like, I have to have it. But the Tom Ford stuff, friends, I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially with the shade and Illuminate. Get one. You don't have to get both like I did. I'm like insane. I would get 01 because I feel it's just a softer blend and I like the undertone better for my skin. But the 02 is great as well, especially I guess if you pair it with another shade bronzer, you could get another tone out of it. But the 01, like, you cannot go wrong. And of course, bronzer, you don't have to splurge on a $110 bronzer, however much it costs. The Fenty powder bronzers are great. The Hoola from Benefit. All the products that I mentioned in this video have a video for. If you want to just see swatches and more details about those said items, then I'll make sure to, actually, I'm just going to make a Sephora recommendation video playlist. So all the products that have videos will be on that playlist. How about that? And lastly, stay safe, friends. I know many of you are going through really hard times, and I never want you to feel like I'm pushing products onto you. During this time, people feel comfortable to still shop, or they feel like they want to still buy some things. I'm just recommending the items that I think are worth taking a look at, especially if you will get a discount on. And all the sale details will be down below. Rouge starts tomorrow. You get 20% off from the 17th through May 1st. VIB, you get 15% off from April 21st to April 29th. And Insider, you get 10% off from April 23rd through April 27th. Spring Save in all caps is the code that you could use online. And let me know what you're thinking about getting, what you're thinking about not getting. You're like, Alicia, you know, I'm good. You don't have to buy anything. I thank you for watching not only my video, but the other content creators who also put out their VIB recommendation videos. You definitely support us when watching. You don't necessarily have to buy with our affiliate links, but we definitely appreciate your time in sharing it with us and just understanding the circumstances, knowing the nature of our channels, and recommending products definitely is a part of our portfolio. And although I speak for myself, I could honestly know that we try to be as sensitive to the circumstances as we can. And I thank you personally for still watching this video, even if you're not going to buy anything, even if you don't support Sephora. I really appreciate your support in watching this. And yeah, we'll see you on here again with another 4-look video because I've just been doing those. And until then, friends, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you in here again with another tutorial, review, recommendations video, maybe. Get ready with me or nightly live chit chat. Take care and I'll see you again soon.